Hello, Liverpool fans. Welcome to the Liverpool Report, your go-to source for the latest news, match updates, and transfer stories straight from Anfield. Don't miss out on any of the action. Hit that subscribe button now and stay in the loop with all things Reds. Monaco are closing in on the signing of Jordan Henderson, which could see him come up against Liverpool in the Champions League alongside a former Reds teammate. The former Reds captain left the club for Saudi Arabia less than 2 years ago, but is now looking for another move. His switch to the Middle East failed to work out, and he cut that short before returning to Europe with Ajax last January. Henderson made the switch to Amsterdam, but his time with the Dutch outfit is poised to come to an end. He's now set to sign a deal with the Principality club until 2026, according to reports. A move to the League One side, who are into the knockouts of the Champions League, would see Henderson link back up with Takumi Minamino, who spent 2 seasons at Anfield alongside Henderson. Monaco had made moves to try and sign Edson Alvarez on loan from West Ham, but saw those rebuffed by the Premier League club. They had also agreed a deal to sign Eric Jr. Dina Ibimbi, but an injury was picked up in his medical and they pulled out of the deal. Henderson has currently helped Ajax sit second in the Eredivisie, 4 points off PSV, whilst they're in the hunt to qualify in the Europa League. Now he's poised to move to the south of France, with Monaco sat third in League One. Despite losing to Inter Milan this week, they're into the playoff phase of the Champions League and will face either PSG, Brest or Benfica, and the winners will be rewarded with the last 16 clashes against Liverpool or Barcelona. Despite his lucrative Saudi move not working out, Henderson insists there's no regrets over his Liverpool exit, adamant that it was the right time to pursue a new challenge. The midfielder remains the only Reds captain to lift the Premier League trophy. He said, "I think it was the right time for me as a player, but also for them as a team, and for them as a club, as much as that hurt at the time. I was very emotional. Looking back in that period of time, looking back now, it is easy to see that it was the right decision made by the manager and the club." Georgi Mamardashvili has provided a clear explanation for his decision not to join Liverpool last summer. The Reds signed the goalkeeper from Valencia in a £30 million deal before loaning him back to the La Liga club for the season. The 24-year-old is being touted as the future number one at Liverpool, the man to replace current stopper Alisson. The Brazilian has been the go-to goalkeeper at Anfield since his transfer from Roma in 2018. But he faces stiff competition for his position when Mamardashvili arrives. Kawhimin Kelleher has proven himself a reliable backup for Liverpool, especially this season when Alisson was out with a hamstring injury for several weeks. But next season, Mamardashvili will be vying for the number 1 spot at the Reds, and the Georgia international opened up about his deal to sign for Liverpool after suffering a horrendous night for his current club, as they endured a 7-1 thrashing at Barcelona, a result leaving them languishing 19th in La Liga. Post-match, Dazen, the broadcaster covering the game in Spain, caught a conversation between Mamardashvili and Barca star Ferran Torres. The two were spotted chatting after the final whistle at the Lewis Company's Olympic Stadium. Dazen claims to have uncovered the topic of Mamardashvili and Torres' conversation, which reportedly revolved around the goalkeeper's move to Liverpool. Torres reportedly quizzed Mamardashvili with the question, "Why didn't you leave this year?" The future Liverpool shot-stopper had a succinct reply to that. Alisson, Mamardashvili has been between the sticks for Valencia 17 times this season, with all his appearances in La Liga. The keeper was recently out of action due to a leg injury, but is keen to pull out all the stops to help Valencia steer clear of the drop zone before he makes his switch to Anfield when the summer comes around. Tyler Morton is in line to start for Liverpool in the Champions League on Wednesday night, but may yet depart Anfield before the January transfer window slams shut. The 22-year-old midfielder has been limited to appearances in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup so far this season, and admitted after Liverpool's 4-0 win over Accrington Stanley earlier this month that he was frustrated with his lack of game time and that he may have to be selfish for the good of his career, whether that means a loan move or a permanent transfer. "Definitely. It's been tough for me this season. Minutes-wise," Morton said after the Accrington win, "I think I've handled it very well. I've kept my head down, given it everything every day. I think I do deserve a chance. I got the chance today, hopefully people think I took it. I think I had a good game. It was exciting. When you don't get many chances, it's rare. You've got to take them. And I think I did today. This month is obviously a big month for myself. It's decision time. I think I'm ready to kick on and be a proper professional. Definitely, I think I'm ready to kick on now and ready to move up a step. If that's here or if that's somewhere else, football's football. I've got to go and be a bit selfish and go with however I feel. Morton is set to make his first appearance in Europe this season when Liverpool take on PSV Eindhoven in their final game in the revamped league phase of the Champions League. Arneslot's side have already advanced directly to the round of 16, meaning the Dutchman has decided to rest Mohamed Salah, Virgil-van-Dijk, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Alisson, Alexis Mac Allister, Luis Diaz, Dominic Szoboszlai, Ibrahima Konate and Ryan Gravenberch. The players don't need to prove themselves, Slot said of the players coming into the side. We know what their quality is, but we are playing many games. And the ones we left behind could have played, but we need to think long term. If you look back at our season and the players who play all the time, we always try to give them a break after 3, 4 or 5 weeks when it's the League Cup or FA Cup to help them get their freshness back. It has taken me a while to understand this new format, but I'm now 100% sure it doesn't matter if you end up first or second, because we are guaranteed to play the team that is 15th, 16th, 17th or 18th in the last 16, and then it's down to the draw. We can't drop to third. It has no impact on the league table, but we will be trying to win. A wise man once said to me he's never seen anything good come from losing a game. 13 or 14 players have mostly shared the playing time, so it will also be good to get other players into a game rhythm as well because we will need them if we start to get injuries. The squad is a choice for the long term. Liverpool have named a much-changed travelling squad for their Champions League trip to Eindhoven to face PSV, but registration issues mean there's no place for Rio Ngumoha. A number of senior stars have stayed home, allowing them to prepare for a busy few days of domestic competition. The Reds face Bournemouth in the Premier League on Saturday, followed by the second leg of their Carabao Cup semi-final against Tottenham. With Arneslot's team already guaranteed a top 2 finish in the Champions League's new league phase, European football is deemed slightly less of a priority this week. Mohamed Salah, Virgil van Dijk and Trent Alexander-Arnold are among those to stay home, with a number of youngsters joining more senior figures including Andy Robertson and Darwin Núñez in the travelling group. The likes of Trey Nyoni, Jadon Dans and Amara Nallo are all available in the Netherlands as Slot looks to preserve his team's unbeaten Champions League record. However, after not naming Ngumoha in the A squad for the competition, the youngster misses out. The Champions League A squad is named at the start of the season and includes the senior stars, who a manager wants to be able to use in the competition. Players born after January 1st, 2003 can be included in the B squad, but only if they have been with their club for 2 or more years. Teenagers Nallo and Nyoni were both included in the A squad, having joined from West Ham and Leicester respectively in 2023. Ngumoha, who joined from Chelsea in 2024, missed out and therefore isn't available for Wednesday's match. The 16-year-old made his senior Liverpool debut in the FA Cup third round, becoming the club's youngest ever starter in the victory over Accrington Stanley. If he is to feature in Europe this season though, he'll need to be added to the A-list for the knockout stages. Speaking to reporters ahead of Wednesday's game, Slot dismissed suggestions those travelling to the Netherlands have a point to prove. They don't need to prove themselves, we know what the quality is for the players that are going to play tomorrow, he said on Tuesday. We are playing like all the teams in Europe, many games, and these players are ready. All the ones that are left behind could have played tomorrow, but for the long term. So, it doesn't tell you anything about the short term, doesn't tell us anything about Saturday's game, but for the long term, if you look back at our season, it has been almost every time after 3 or 4 or 5 weeks we gave them the break during the week when there was a League Cup or an FA Cup game. If there was a moment for them to get some freshness back, we have always done that. Thanks to their top 2 league phase finish, Liverpool will take on the winner of a playoff between teams ranked between 15th and 18th in the league phase. PSV themselves could end up in one such playoff, with Peter Bosz's side sat 19th ahead of the visit of the Premier League leaders.